Afternoon, guys. Hey, Mike. Yeah, the Euro CHF. That's funny. Good afternoon. Ken, how's it? Hope you guys are all right. Mike, how are you feeling after that hot knife through butter? Guys, just a couple of reminders there. QT has a license from the FSCA 45262. That's our license number. And we are also a licensed over-the-counter derivatives provider. Mike, I'm waiting. Remember, guys, the trading support department facilitates the trading room. Don't forget. Yeah, this it's a. Do you have anything stronger there? All right, hey Zeph, how's it? Hope you're good. You see, Jeff is actually coming down there, Zeph, or at least it pushed down a little bit. The next positions, right? Absolutely. Guys, cut off for withdrawals there. Don't forget. Mondays to Fridays, 1500 hours p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. All right. Pretty disappointing though. We thought there'll be even more drama. It's, you know, those whoops and wicks and a push down. But we're gonna go and check out that euro now. I actually have the EXY on there, Mike, just so you can have a look and see that the euro is pretty weak. We're gonna see what that looks like now, right? AV, how's it? And then lastly, guys, movement phase, breakout phase, and accumulation phase. Are you guys ready to go? Ready to get started? Ready to get the recap going? Got about 59 minutes yet to go. We're gonna really get into it. Have you guys been checking out what I mentioned to you earlier this morning? Have you guys been checking out what I've been mentioning earlier this morning there? Whilst I get my screens ready, just there are obviously still guys that are coming in. Okay, so as they come in, all right. Can you guys see this? That's the EXY. Mike, that's the EXY. That's the currency index for the euro. What you want to do is you want to check these out because they help you understand the specific currency. All right. Yeah, look, Zeph, it's a good point. The noise, and then obviously moving back again. We're gonna obviously go and have a look now and see what that means. Okay. So here's the EXY, guys. This is the euro index or euro currency index. If you go to the monthly frame here, I want you just to have a look at this. So Mike, what you want to do when you're trading Forex, just for the guys, you want to go and look at the actual index itself as well, okay? And look what is happening with now on a monthly frame. Look what I've done here. I've actually put in an area there where you can see the euro is pretty weak. Can you see that? The euro is pretty weak. Can you see that? You guys with me? The euro is pretty weak. And if you really zoom out, obviously it needs to load. If there is any data available, 2008, nope. Look at this. So that's the bottom, guys. We've reached the bottom there. Can you see that? Are we there, everybody? We've reached the bottom of the euro index. Now, what's going to be very important here is you can't get, if I zoom in here, hold on. It's still very bearish. So you're not going to find anything like this. Does it make sense? It's too weak. All right, so you got to go to, you have to drop down. And that's what I've done. I've dropped down to shorter time frame. And I'm going to zoom in once more. So you guys can see this is the euro index at this point in time. All right. Hey, Warren, good afternoon. Cheryl, Amir, very long time, man. It's good to have you on. Very good to have you on. Mintimer, Jay, at its lowest, Mikhail. Absolutely. So can you see how that adds to what has actually been happening today there, Mike? Okay, so if we want any strength in the euro here, ultimately, what do we need? We need this euro to start advancing above. Can you see that 100.89 mark? Can you see that? Is everybody clear with the euro here, guys? They obviously raised the interest rate there by 75 basis points, big jump, 0.75%. And so that's quite a big one. Are we together, everybody? And generally speaking, when interest rates are hiked, you generally see an increase or at least a strength in that specific currency by default. But I told you guys these past few months, we've seen interest rates move up. It's been hiked and raised, but the opposite happened. Once again, we're seeing that come through here with the euro. So guys, it is an unpredictable market. Are we together, everybody? So that's why when the fundamentals are like this, you got to be on point with your technicals. Can I please say that, guys? When the fundamentals are unstable, you got to be on point with your technicals. Is everybody clear there, guys? You got to know what you're doing on your technicals if the fundamentals are looking like this, and that is very important. So that's the euro. Let's go to the dollar. Let's go check out the dollar. Look at this dollar here, guys. It actually did not come down to 109. Are we together? It seems like that strength is continuing with the US dollar. We're pushing up. We passed the 109.804. But more importantly, from a daily perspective, hi, Galaxy. Hold on. Good afternoon. Can you guys see that, guys? If we close like this, then tomorrow we're possibly pushing up further. Look at that. We might even pass that today if the strength continues. Guys, the dollar overall here, all right, it is appreciating. Is everybody clear with that? I mentioned that last week, mentioning it again, how the dollar is appreciating. All right. Hi there, Ricky. Thibaut. Is everybody clear here with where we are now, guys? If the dollar keeps appreciating, what happens to the commodities? What happens to the commodities if the dollar keeps appreciating? All right, so let's go there. Let's go and see what's happened to the indices here, guys. Remember, we had a short on the NASDAQ. Who remembers? We had a short on the NASDAQ. And the short was to where? 11,599. Can you guys see that? So which means we are still in the game. We still have skin in the game here. Are we together? If we can push beneath 12132 today, we could get that short. Look at that. But I don't know if we're going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday's daily candle pushed up significantly. We could go up just a little bit further before we push down. But if we were to close beneath 12132, then we look for that short to go to 11,599. Can you guys see that? Everybody clear? Let me make sure everybody's with me before I push on, all right? Look how it's scaling very nicely there. Can you guys see that? Cheryl, do I even need to draw that vertical line? Don't even need to draw it because you can see it from here, isn't it so? Are we together? Do you see how powerful it is? You can see it clearly because once you understand the concept, you can see it clearly, yeah? And that's why it wasn't drawn earlier on, or at least yesterday, because I could see that line the moment it crossed. Does that make sense, everyone? The moment it crossed, it's still bearish. Absolutely. It's still bearish. This is you using it to actually track as well. Can you guys see that? Thibaut, you're tracking now. Does that make sense? Mike, you're tracking. It's extremely strong. Let's move on, guys. We're still bearish here. S&P 500, guys. I mean, I don't even need to draw. Look at it. But let's draw it so that the guys can see. Look at this one here. Can you guys see it? We're still far away from that one. It's in the seller zone. So many guys are going to sell. But we still far away. That's why I'm saying be careful, because price can still push up. Does that make sense? Price can still push up. So if I go back to the NASDAQ, Teboho, look at this. If I go back to the NASDAQ, I said to you, you must be careful, isn't it so? We are past, yes, but this day is not over. Look at the period separator here. This day is not over. I hope you guys are catching what I'm saying to you here. So if I extend this up to the period separator, all right, now watch. This price, what it can do still later today, it can still push up. If it does that, do you see why it could possibly then fall tomorrow? Does it make sense, everybody? Ken, I hope you guys are seeing what I'm showing you. I hope you, Cheryl, Tabo, Mike, I hope you guys are seeing what I'm showing here. Can someone tell me what I just showed here? Even though I said I just showed you, what did I just show you here? What did I just show you? Whilst I'm seeing what the guys are saying, let me move on. What did I just show you there? Here's Dow Jones. All right, this fellow here. Very far. Very new artwork. I'll just allow price behavior. All right, Sam. All right, Sam, 11,599. That's if price breaks about beneath 12132. 12132. If it breaks beneath that area there, then we go 11,599. All right. Still a few more guys joining. Guys, can we move on? Is that fine, guys? Can we move on? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. Jay says yes. Brent. Guys, let's track Brent here. Hasn't done much. We are still at the 88 level. Let's see where it closes. All right. I'm not going to touch this one for now. Let's see where we're going to go. All right. Sam, so should it be a daily close with 1 hour? For what now, Sam? Is that for the NAS? Sammy, you should know the answer to this. You should know the answer to that. You should know the answer to that. Based on how many times you've been attending, you should know about closes. You should know about the clusters. You should know about the momentum time frame. You should know about the hourly or the inches or the minutes. You should know that, isn't it so? Yeah. Dow Jones, Anya. So we are still here. Still for the 30477. All right, Anya. It broke down here at the bottom. This is very low. Look at that. This one, there was just no steam from the buyers here. Broke at the bottom. Are we together? That's the Dow Jones. Sammy, 1 hour, 4 hour. Within what cluster does that fall? Within what cluster does that fall? WTI, the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. From a daily perspective, let's leave this one then for tomorrow as well to see what happens. Sammy, hour, 4 hour, under which cluster does that fall? I'm moving to USD Swiss franc. We're going there now, Wolf. We go into the dollar pairs now, all right? As per the custom. USD Swiss franc, I said to you this morning, please watch out for 96982. There it is right there. Is everybody clear? Spot on to 96982. Is everybody clear? After that, we wait. After that, we wait. Is everybody clear with that? After that, we wait. 96982. USD CAD, nothing here. We're still within the range. We're still within the range here. So USD Swiss franc, we have 96982, which it's definitely moving till there. Those lines are being respected. USD CAD, the range is being respected. We leave this to see where it closes. We catch up with this one tomorrow. Is everybody clear with that? The got his speeches now. It's fine. Powell was there. Guys, remember, even although the guys make speeches, it doesn't mean there's always a specific reaction. Is everybody clear with that, guy? Sammy, I'm still waiting for you. I'm still waiting for you. 4 hour, 1 hour part of what cluster is that? I'm going to AUD USD. AUD USD down to 67003. That's what we were checking. I still see it, guys. I still see it pushing. Are we together till there? If it doesn't hold at the zone here, can you guys see that? There we go, Sammy. It's intraday. Absolutely. So if you look at NASDAQ intraday right now, if that closes beneath here, is the day finished? Yes or no? If it closes beneath here right now, is the day finished? Yes or no? It's not done yet. So what could possibly happen? If it closes beneath here today, we could possibly go further down. Does that make sense, everybody? Intraday. But if price does not close beneath that today, maybe tomorrow during intraday it could. Because it's closing above the 12132, which is not what we want. Does that make sense? We need it to close beneath. Is everybody clear with that? Sammy? Let me ask the question, guys. Is the intraday making more sense with these period separators here? Let me ask the question. When you're an intraday trader, is it making more sense now? Let me ask the question. All right. There we go. It does. Beautiful. 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 There we go, guys. All right. Let's move, guys. AUD USD, we leave it alone. NZD USD. Also nothing here. We said we're waiting for what? For the daily at least to close beneath here. And you can see price did go up. But this here, can you see that? That's a resistance there, guys. That's a resistance right there. It did not surpass the resistance. That's the wick there. Cheryl, do you remember this? You loving it? You're loving it when the technicals make sense. You know what? Let me actually rephrase. Do you like it when it's so practical? When it's like, hey, listen, I can apply this thing. It's not like, you know, the clouds where Mike, it's like, you know, I can see the clouds, but I can't touch it. Does that make sense? It's like, you know, you see these guys analyzing like, oh my word, yes, that makes total sense. But when you attempt it, it's like, let's see, man, I'm not getting to the same result, isn't it? So, Ash, Zulu Warrior, can I say this to you guys? Can I just say this to you, Mike, Cheryl, Ken, Mpo? I got tired of that specific feeling there, where you saw the guys analyzing on such a level and you're like, wow. Does that make sense, everybody? So it's the clouds. I refer to it as the clouds. You can see the clouds, but you cannot touch it. It's a frustrating process. So that's why you got to get better and you got to get things explained in a simple way. All right. So NZD USD, If the dollar keeps on strengthening, we are well on our way here. Is everybody clear with this, ladies and gentlemen? 14 seconds for my good people. And then we push on. Then we push on. Hold on. Just trying to see something here, guys. Now, this is definitely going to be a new low. It's going to be very interesting. What's left is still on the sell zone. Yes. All right. All right. This one here, ladies and gentlemen, very interesting one here from a hourly perspective. I want you to notice something here now. Hold on. There's wicks. It could be a problem here. Cheryl, this is that Zulu. Look at this. We go up. Look at this. After. So can you see this? In the sell zone, and we went up after. Do you see that? That area there. Is everybody clear? We went up after the area, and so now you pause and you wait. Does that make sense, everybody? Because it happened after that specific vertical line. Tabo, are you with me there? Gabriel, are you with me? Mpo, are you with me? Ken, it went up after. It was already in the zone, in the sell zone. And look at this. It came back down again. So this vertical line is very important. Is everybody clear? That vertical line is very, very, very important there. It brings these two angles into perspective. Can I say that again? Can I say this again? This line here, this line here, are we together? It gets context when you have this guy in here. Sorry, it's not that straight. V, does that make sense? So this here is given context when this guy's there. But when that guy's not there, then this is what actually happens. Look at this. Mr. W, would you agree with me if I say to you, when that guy, when it's just this one and this one, there's no context there. Does that make sense, everybody? It's like, okay, so did we finally break out now? So guess what? You go in for a long way. There. Mike, you go in for a long there. V, you go in for a long here. And then guess what happens? Boom. Does that make sense, everybody? Why? Because we got to learn to do what? Get the missing piece. Is everybody clear? Get the missing piece. If you don't have the missing piece, you'll be standing with your foot in your mouth. Is everybody clear? Everybody with me? The stomach turning effects. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's move, guys. Let's move. That's GBP USD. Let's go. Euro USD and then USD JPY. Euro USD and then USD JPY. Look at this fellow here. Look at this guy here, guys. Look at that resistance there. I always say to you, look for the left-hand side. Left-hand side. Look at that. Pushed up, so you would have had a long here. Brilliant. Long. Up, up, up. 55 pips. Then it comes down. We are still bullish here, by the way. Just so you do know. Is everybody with me? Yes, it does. Thanks, Shira. We still bullish here. Only if we break beneath where? Look at this. That zone. Is everybody clear? Because price can do this. Price can bounce from there. Then go back up. So we needed to break beneath the zone here. And then we have this support here. Does that make sense, everybody? So it's two barriers it needs to break through. If it breaks through those two barriers, I mean, come on. Sellers are telling you something, isn't it so? At the end of the day, you want the buyers to give you an answer. You want the sellers to give you an answer. Does that make sense? If the buyers aren't giving you an answer, all right, then why are you buying? If the sellers aren't giving you an answer, why are you selling? So you need them to come through and tell you, but you need to put these little features in place. Everybody clear? You got it there, Wolf? USD-JPY. Look at this fellow here. It's very interesting, guys. So I want you to watch this, all right? Go and watch this one. Who remembers the RSI? I spoke to you about the RSI, did I not? The oversold areas. Look how it's coming down here, guys. The RSI is coming down. Can you guys see this? Is everybody with me here, guys? Every day. Are we bullish or bearish here for now? Look how they're all adding up. RSI is adding up here. V, can you see it? The RSI is matching up here. Can you guys see this? Are we still below? Yes. Now remember this period separator needs to be respected like this. So I'm taking it all the way to the period separator. Why am I taking all the way to the period separator? Who remembers? Why am I taking it all the way to the period separator, guys? Why am I taking it all the way to the period separator? Talk to me. Tabo says still on bearish. Talk to me. Anyone? Isabel doesn't know. All right. Daily closure. Yes, Fanny. Let's give Fanny around there, guys. We're looking to see, will it reach this specific part of the trend line today? That part of the trend line today. Is everybody clear? We're trying to see that. Is everybody clear? Is everybody clear? So if this happens, look at this. If this happens, it doesn't mean we are 100% bullish now. That just means we got to do this. Now we got to move it. You see that? Is everybody clear? Now we have to move it the next day. Is everybody clear? We have to move it now the next day because it's created that higher low there. So obviously tomorrow, look at this. If price does this, if price does that as an example, all right, then there's a new one there now. Is everybody with me, ladies and gentlemen? Go test them, Wolf. Is everybody with me? There's no such thing as measuring anyone. Are we together? Because there's a lot of stuff that comes into play. You have to respect support and resistance. You got to look at your major key levels. Are we together? But you weren't here throughout the other session. So that's the reason why this coming on now, just seeing this, it's not going to make sense. Are we together here, ladies and gentlemen? Now remember, here's a high there. That's a high. On that question of Wolf, I want to mention this. We're not into strategies here. This is price action. All right. If you want the strategy, you can go to YouTube. YouTube has a lot of them. Or you can pay 7,005 for one. Are we together? But we're into price action here. We're monitoring price. That's the important part here. Jacob, so what if it happens? So what if that happens in the sell zone? If what happens in the sell zone? The same thing's going to happen if you just need to move it again. At this point in time, we are not close to that yet. Are we together? We are still in the sell zone here now. So if it pushes down further, look at this. That's a lower low now, Jacob. What does a lower low say? What does a lower low say? Here is the next point, there. That's 99 pips away. Do you see why? And I'm going to come back to Wolf's question. Do you see why you cannot isolate this? Because if it's in the sell zone, now you need to remember what are your major levels. Are we together? I've never seen you using them before. Hence, I'm asking, well, I'll never doubt if I'll make profits. All right, that's cool. Thanks, Wolf. Well, this is actually the second day, all right, Wolf? This is the second day, because remember, everything can't come out, and all at once. It takes time, and you got to build layer upon layer, layer upon layer, precept on precept. Does it make sense, everybody? If you want a house, are you going to build one? I mean, come on, a house needs to be built, isn't it so, guys, with different layers of bricks? Isn't it so? It's the same thing with understanding the market. It's layers upon layers. Is everybody clear there? Guys, can we just pause there for a second? Mr. W, can you guys see why so many people make so many losses? Because guys come and they say to them, guys, if you do this, I guarantee you in 2 months, right? Look at this. In 2 months, you're going to make triple your account. You don't know anything about the markets. You don't know about bid and ask. You don't know about the depth of market. You don't know that there's 21 time frames. You don't know when a trend line is broken, and they say to you in 2 months, you're going to triple your money. Do you see why you lose money? It's because this thing, it's layer upon layer upon layer. Don't believe someone that just says, hey, come, you're going to make money. Guys, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Is everybody clear there? Mike's asking there, why is that bottom bullish trend line cutting through? Why is that bottom bullish trend? Are you referring to this here, Mike? Are you referring to this? Why is that bottom bullish? This one here. Yeah, but there's two here. There's one there, there's one there. Which one? This one there or that one there? The one coming down or the one going up? The one going up or the one coming down? There's a falling trend line and there's a rising trend line. That's the USD JPY. The one going up. So it's cutting through. Yes. What about it? It's cutting through. So what about it? It's how price moves. Price moves sideways. It's fluctuating. It's going to cut through. Are we together? It's never going to be 100%. Are we together there? Tibo's asking, I went to short the time frame. So what you can do is, Tibo, that's why you have to learn how to draw your levels, support and resistance. So as an example there, from there to there, and then the RSI. So the RSI shows you the top of that specific zone. That's the top area. In the oversold area, that's when it started descending. All right. Now, Thibaut, your question and Wolf's question is so together that I actually love it. the fact that you guys are asking these things, all right? Because it's proving more and more that you have to join things together to give you a picture. Does that make sense, everybody? Who is who in the story? If you read a novel, you know the characters, they paint the picture. The trend line paints a picture. The RSI paints a picture. The candle paints a picture. Does that make sense? And when you put them together, it should give you the story. But some guys just use this. Let me pause. Zulu, if someone says to you, just sell, it broke there. Just sell. Are you going to believe that individual this year? Take off everything. You take off everything. They say to you, you know, just sell. There. Are you guys going to sell? Mr. W, are you going to sell? Mike, are you going to sell? Jay, you going to sell? Shira, are you going to sell? Ken, you going to sell? Look at this. They say to you, no, we broke here. Just sell. Gabriel, Tibor, Tabo, Mintimer, you see? So you're not going to believe that individual that says, no, it's a trend line strategy. You're not going to believe them anymore. Does it make sense, everybody? It's trend line strategy. So sell. Okay, why must I sell there? So it goes back to the question of Wolf. It goes back to the question there, all right, of T-Boss, to say that you have to put these things together. You got to put the picture together, the story together. Is everybody clear there? All right. All right. Can I move on? Is that fine, guys? Can we go to gold? Let me show you what happened with gold. I heard a story like this, and the story was like this, guys. That at the beginning of a race, I actually saw this on a documentary. At the beginning of a race, everybody looks like a winner. When they're standing at that line, everybody looks like a winner. But only afterwards, you realize who actually put in the work. Does that make sense? All of us on here, we are traders. But the work you put in will determine what you get out. That's just what it is. This guy over here, look at that. And I said to you, monitor 1724. Who wrote down 1724 this morning? I said to you, if we break 1724, we go 1742. Mr. W, you wrote it down, right? Look how it respected that line. Look at that. And I said to you, that's the left-hand side there. Finally, do you see it? Left-hand side, it respected, it came back down again. Now we are bearish. So even although it broke to the upside past the vertical line, the left-hand side, you got to mix it. You don't just throw this out and buy. You got to look, what's to the left-hand side? It's a resistance. So if it doesn't go above that resistance, guess what? It's not long yet. Does that make sense, everybody? So there we push back down. Boom. Is everybody clear? Can I move on? Can I move on? Is that fine? Let me make sure by the guys. 14 seconds. All right, I'm going to go to Euro CHF. Look at that, Mike. There's your Euro CHF. Look at that. I go to the hour frame. There's your hour frame. Can you see that? Pushed up. But I want you to notice something here. Look at that zone there. Respected before. Can you see that today? Today's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Tuesday, rejection. So, Mike, if we broke this today, do you see why your long would have been great? Can you see that? So I just went to the left. Just go to the left. Where would your TP be? About 98, round about there. Look at that. But you got to go to the left. Go and look. What is happening on the left? Is there rejection? I need to break. I need to see a candle above that zone there. And this is not different from what we've been checking out, isn't it so? V? How many times have I been going on about, guys, if it doesn't break the resistance, stay out. Remember that. Check the resistance. Check the resistance. All right. Everybody with me? And I want also to point this out. Emergency exit. It's right there. Mike, look at that emergency exit there. That area there in the dip, the lowest wick is sitting on that zone. So if you get a candle that closes beneath here, which is the bearish zone now, beneath there, you out. See how they're all adding up their V. And I did the emergency exits for what? For 3-4 weeks. Last month, we've been doing this EEs, right? Everybody with me? So there's the emergency exit. And there, after it closes beneath that zone, it's more bearish. Do you see that? Everybody clear? Still go. All right, can we move on? AUD CAD, we leave it right there. We're still at the bottom. GBP NZD. Now this one, look at this, guys. Look at that zone there. Look at that zone there. Are we together? It pushed up. Yes, it pushed up. It did. But once again, resistance 1.91055 going back was not broken. Do you see that? And then what happens? We come back down. Pivot point right there. And we still beneath. Do you see that, everybody? Exactly. Order blocks. Yes. Yes. Was not built in one day. Absolutely. Is everybody clear? So we are still bearish here. Does that make sense? We are still bearish here with GBP NZD. Can I move on, ladies and gentlemen? AUD JPY. This is a very, very tricky one. Look at this one. We at the center. Hold on, let me try and find apex like this. The best we can do is on that 1 minute. The 1 minute seems to find it a little bit better. Okay, that's the best I can do. Hold on. Just go to YouTube. Anya and Werner, Kathy, Thibaut is 1, 2, 3, 4 people. You guys go and practice though. All right, so look at this one, guys. Very, very tricky one. Is everybody with me? So just before the vertical, look at this, guys, right there, right there. But we've not closed above that zone there. It's too little anyway. So we need to close above that. This will be our TP right there. That's our TP right there. It's a very small one. If you go to a higher time frame, you have to go back. This one has reached its all-time high on this side here. because the next high on this left-hand side, look at this, is over here, 102. All right. Are we together? I got you there, V. Oh, I got the wedge. Over there. So you go to a 30 or 15 minute. Mike, what you can also do is just, you can use a relative strength index. All right. And then you look for the high. Look at that there. So that high, can you see this high here? That one is in alignment there. Are we together? Sometimes you're going to miss. Sometimes you are going to miss, all right, a specific zone. So as an example, this would have been yesterday now. That would have been yesterday. That's the high. That's the high. So you would have, so we missed that yesterday. Look at that. Are we together? And we are getting it when it's down here. So we have to obviously bring it to this angle because we might push down lower here. So that's ultimately where we want to push to. That it was not ready yet. It was just still too high. That was the top. So you wanted to just push down a little bit so you can start joining. Are you with me there, guys? Can I just say that again? Here, it's too high. Is everybody clear? It's too high there. So what's great about this specific symmetrical, remember, the symmetrical is used when there's lower highs and higher lows. Is everybody clear? Can I say that again? Actually, just write this down, please, guys, because I don't want you to forget it. Write it down. The symmetrical, what validates a symmetrical triangle is higher lows and lower highs. So if there's no lower highs and there's no higher lows, it can't be a symmetrical. So in this specific case here, this was great for us because there's lower highs and this is higher lows. Are we together? It obviously broke through. It was running, broke through. But what validates a symmetrical is lower highs, higher lows. So the question is, Jay, where will you draw the vertical line? Mike asked, show how you got the wedge there. I validated through higher lows and lower highs. If there's nothing like that, gaan nie werk nie. Is everybody with me here? It's not going to work. All right. Can I move? Is that fine? Look at the Euro NZD, guys. Flawless. All right. Can we draw this channel from monthly? No, you see, Wolf, then you're gonna wait very long. You're gonna wait very long. If you're gonna use the monthly frames, if you're gonna you can, but you're gonna wait very long. Does that make sense? That's holding trades now. All right. Kathy, a higher high, higher low. A higher high, higher low. Are you sure? These are lower highs. Lower high, lower high. These are higher lows. The trend line is showing you the lower highs. The trend line here is showing you the higher lows, not the higher highs. Lower highs, higher lows. So the trend lines show you. The reason why you're drawing the trend line is to connect the lower highs and the higher lows. Wolf, maybe an hour, hour and lower. Hour and lower because you have more data there. And the more data you have, the better. All right. So this one worked out to be absolutely spotless. This is like flawless victory. Look at that, closed above, my word, and just went up there. Can you guys see that? Mike, flawless victory, this one. Flawless. There we go. But remember, Wolf, you got to put support and resistance in. Don't just test this in isolation. It's not going to work like that. You got to know your monthly levels. You got to put your weekly levels. You got to know what the overall trend is. Are you using a momentum cluster? All right. You got to use it together. All right. Now this one here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, guys. Okay. Now you see this one is also very steep. Even if you put on a 15-minute, can you guys see this one is a bit different? So I have higher lows. Can you guys see this? I'm already on a 15 minutes. So if you go to a 5-minute, it's not enough. Is it going to work here? Yes or no? Is it going to work here? It's not going to work here, right, Mr. W? Why? Why is it not going to work here? All right. There we go, man. Wolfman. There's no lower highs. Good, Pemo. There's no lower highs here. So we can't join anything. So now you got to wait for it. Even on the 15 minutes. Look at that. Look at that. There's higher lows, but there's no lower highs. So even if you go to this one, look at that. We right at the top. There's nothing for us to work with here at this moment in time. Does that make sense? Exactly. Mr. W, that's exactly, there's not enough data here, isn't it? So that's why they train black ops. These SEALs use limited amount of data just to get a mission done. That's specialized training, isn't it so? Are we together, everybody? But us in the 21st century now, these days, you want a whole paragraph there, you know. Before we believe, you know, before we believe, you're like, hier noch, I want more. Before. All right. Is everybody with me? You want a 5-page essay? You want the guy's statements? You want to see his car? You want to see what, you know, what's the suit label? Is it sewed on? Or is it aangeplakt? Does it make sense? You want to see his wife? How many kids does he have? What kind of watch? Does that make sense, everybody? So you want to see all those things before you believe. All right? Is everybody with me? You want exactly. Look at his analysis. That's what we want to see. We want to see the analysis. Can I move on, good people? May I move on? All right. Here I have CAD JPY. I'm actually in a short with this one here, guys. A short. Ash, why are you in a short here? Let me zoom in. Look at this. It pushed down very nicely here, and it has been moving down. Are we together? It's just really moving sideways and taking its own time. So eventually I'm gonna have to move this, but this is the, look at this, the center. That's the center. It's hit the center part there. Look at that. So everybody with me, it's hit the center in a short to 108.636. Everybody with me here. So eventually what's going to happen is that I'm going to have to take this area here. If it closes like that today, if it closes like that, can you see it? This is now tomorrow. And if it does that, if it continues to do this, and let's just say, for example, it closes like that now, all right? Does that make sense, Mr. W, so far? Mike, remember, we're now tracking it for day 2. So day 1, I'm in the short, right? It's with this first cross here. Can you see this one here? Can you see that? Let me actually do this. Hold on. Let me change the color. Can I change the color? Can you guys see this red? Can you see the red? Okay, so this is now day 2. Shira, you missed this morning, but you'll check it on YouTube. All right, look at this. So that's day 1. Look at this triangle versus this one. Remember I said to you this morning, they're not going to look the same. Does that make sense? Everybody with me? They don't look the same. So this is now day 2. Let's just say hypothetically, this is what happens on day 2, right? Now I have another, look at this. I have another vertical line here. Let me do this, hold on. This is now for tomorrow. It closes beneath here again. If it closes beneath again, it's respecting so far. Look at that. Does that make sense, everybody? It's respecting so far. If it closes beneath here again, I'm still short. Does it make sense? The only time I will get out is if it closes where? This is the buy zone. Yes, but am I going to get out? This will be the buy zone for tomorrow. Am I going to get out? Is everybody with me? No, I'm not going to get out because if it does not close above 110. Does that make sense? Why? Because look at that zone there. Is everybody clear? Yes, it is there, Wolf. It's on YouTube now. Go to Quick Trade, you'll see it. You clear there, V? Is the rest of the guys also clear here, guys? That area must be violated here. Look at this wick here. Can you see the wick? Can you guys see that? Look at that wick. Just poking out there, poking its head out there. All right, so far it's respecting that specific line. Everybody clear? Can I move? AUD USD eventually reaches, look at that, 654, 65446. Shira spoke about it this morning. We could bounce from here. Is everybody clear? All right, Ash is already off. Euro AUD. Just like, man, my word. You see the left, right? Look at this. This is very interesting. If I go to the 15-minute, it's very, very sharp. Oh, this is very sharp, guys. This is a very sharp. It tells you about the rate of sellers here, actually. Very sharp. That's for today. There's a pivot point over here. This is the place we could reach. Still today. Look at that. Is everybody with me here, guys? Did not even come close. $67 pips away. Is everybody with me here, guys? Everybody with me? Now, I want you to notice something here. Hold on. That was a higher time frame trade here. Wolf, can you see this? That was a higher time frame, right? It worked out beautifully. Can you see that? Now, Mike, V, Mr. W, look at this. When you go to a shorter time frame, look at that zone there. Look at that area there. Go to a shorter time frame. Look at that. Can you guys see what I just did there? Is everybody clear? How do you select the touch points of your trend line? Guys, how do I select it? How do I select it? That question was here just now. How do I select it? Jay, try again. We're almost done. Try again, try again. How do we select, guys? How do we select it? There we go. There we go. EJ, there's the answer. Lower highs, higher lows. With what? Do we need data or not? If there's no data, you can't touch it. Does that make sense? There must be data that can specifically give you the lower highs, specifically give you the higher lows. Does it make sense to draw the symmetrical? Is everybody clear? And remember, you're doing this not in isolation of support and resistance. You are not isolating monthly levels. You're not isolating weekly momentum levels, guys. Does that make sense? You got to use them together. You're building a story here. At this point, in this specific story, from a higher time frame perspective, we can see that there is an uptrend, but on the shorter time frames, we're seeing a possible retracement now. That's the story here, V. Does it make sense? On the higher time frames, we're seeing an uptrend, but in the uptrend, we've just identified a possible retracement that could happen here. Does it make sense? That has pips. Look here. From there to there, about 64 pips. Does that make sense, everyone? So there's a story to be told here. And I'm going to leave this on for tomorrow morning so we can go and check this out and see what it did based on what we've analyzed. Is everybody clear? The euro also weakened. Does that make sense, everybody? The euro is weak by the currency index. So the pieces of the story is fitting together. All right. Got you, EJ. Edge is not forming a resistance on 1.4776. What you can do is, Mr. W, use a line chart, okay? Use a line chart because you want the line chart to show you the close. Are we together? So always use the line chart. It shows you the point. It gives you those higher lows and those lower highs more clearly than that of the wicks. The wicks can become a problem. Does that make sense? So we use the closing of price, not the high, the closing. If we were to use the high, look at this. It pushes the X up. Do you see that? So we want to use the closing as close to the body as possible because those wicks there, it's like fluff. It's like, you know, it's like fluff. It goes up and it comes down. So we don't want to use fluff here. Are we together, everybody? We want to use close to the candle as possible. You're shaving the wicks. There we go, Anya. There we go. You got it. You got it. That's what we're doing. As Amma met me, everybody's with me. They did share us 75 basis points. We expected a stronger euro. Didn't happen once again. We've had this before. Remember, we had the US also have more basis points. Didn't strengthen. So once again, the fundamentals didn't pan out here, yeah? All right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. All right. So, guys, I'm going to leave this one like this. We come back tomorrow. We see what has happened here. Does it make sense, everyone? We see what's happened here. Remember this. What can happen? And I told you guys here this morning, I said to you, this can happen. That can happen. Does that make sense, everyone? All right. That can happen, and we can come further down. Remember now, Mike, before I go, look at this. That's another support. Don't forget that. That's another support right there. Does that make sense, everyone? So you don't use them in isolation. No. If you use them in isolation, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So price can do this. Boom. Still under. And then it eventually breaks. You see that? That's still a support area. Anya, the shaving of the wicks there as well. It could be, but remember, because it's still down, it's down. The pressure is more coming down. Do you see that? So if you get into the buy and it doesn't even go close to this zone here, you're in trouble. Does that make sense? So the shaving of wicks here, we're on the 10-minute chart. Look at this. If we go to, just like I taught you guys, if you go to the 3-minute, that same support, look at this. There. Let's go to the 2-minute. Let's see if we've shaved enough. Let's bring it down a bit. I'm not doing anything different from what I showed you guys before. Mr. W, remember the shaving of the wicks? Mike, Shara, you guys remember the shaving of the wicks, right, Ken? Look at that. If I go back, Anya, I'm going back, look. So we've got the last wick. That's a valid area now. Can you guys see that? That's a nice valid area there. So I'm telling you nothing different. All I'm doing now, all right, all I've been doing is adding to the foundation every single time. And that's why I always want you guys to make notes, because you've got to go back and revisit them. Does that make sense, guys? Just been adding layer upon layer upon layer. And the guy that's going to come in tomorrow for the first time, when I'm speaking about this, God bless his soul. Does it make sense, everybody? Because it's exactly that. You come in new, you've missed a year's work, 6 months work, and you want to get it like this. It doesn't work that way. Does it make sense, everybody? Is everybody with me? T-Boss, it's not a strategy. No, this is price action. All right? It's price action. Price action. Price action. Strategy is steps. I've never given the guys steps here. Does it make sense? Step 1, do this. Step 2, do never. Because if one of those steps are wrong, see what I'm doing with my tie here, guys? You know some of them? Yeah, but Ash, no, you don't teach strategies. Put the pieces together, explain the concepts, let the guys understand and be competent so they can work their way around. Does it make sense, everybody? Anya says there, yes, you can, Bayers, you can. Newbies will feel like he's on a roller coaster. Absolutely. V, it took you some time to get to this place. Shira, Mr. W, Anya. Anya came in January. It's the 9th month now. Anya, tell the guys, Isabel, they came in January here. That's when I met them. Are we together, guys? And look now. So it does take time. Is everybody clear? All right. V says there, do you need a strategy to be a trader or can you be a price action trader? Remember, there's guys that are doing this. V, there are guys that are taking price action and they're creating a strategy out of it. Do you see that? Here, I'm not giving you a strategy. I'm showing you price action so you can create your own. Does that make sense, everybody? Teresa says there, ask there, how can I? Shara's 80th anniversary. All the guys on YouTube, thanks for joining. You can catch it on here again. I'm just reading some of my guys' comments here. Shara's 80th anniversary. Shara, in 1 year, honestly. Guys want to catch up in 1 week. It's not going to work like that, right? Teresa says, how can I catch up on the 9 months? The great thing for you is, Teresa, is that I'm a guy of repetition. Because I believe that builds a house, it builds an idea, it builds a concept, it builds a child, it builds a business. Repetition. So you're in for a treat. Don't worry about that. Are we together? Mark, yesterday 1 year. Let's give Mark a round of applause. It's his trading room anniversary. It's funny. All right. I've been here since March and I'm still learning. Hey, Mr. W. Exalamora Abram. Ayanda, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Is everybody 100%? Everybody 100% here, guys. I have a question there from Brandon. With the way you draw your trend lines, how can I reach out to you? You can just email me directly, all right? Ashley@quicktrade.co.za. Just email me directly. I'll give you a call, all right? That's the support, all right? At QuickTrade. Just give me a email address. No, sorry, just pop me a mail and then I'll give you a shout, no problem. To all the guys on YouTube that join me, pleasure. And then obviously I'll see you guys at 9:30 tomorrow morning where we catch up to end of the week, yeah? Are we together? Good.